Miss Ella Mae Johnson, we need to discuss the terms of your lease immediately.
She fixed the billionaire's torn suit for free, while people mocked her worn hands. The next morning, black cars stopped outside her tiny shop, and lawyers stepped out with faces that made the whole street go silent. The suit tore at the worst possible moment. The billionaire stood frozen on the sidewalk, sunlight hitting the rip in his shoulder like a spotlight on shame. People whispered. Some smiled. Others looked away. Time pressed in on him, sharp and unforgiving. That was when the poor black tailor crossed the street and calmly said she could fix it. No one answered her. No one thanked her courage. A few people laughed, soft but cruel. A woman like her did not belong near a man like him. Everyone knew that. Yet she stood there anyway, shoulders straight, eyes steady, holding a small sewing kit like it was nothing special. Her name was Naomi Carter, and dignity had been her only shield for most of her life. Naomi's shop sat between two loud stores that never noticed her. The sign above her door was cracked, paint peeling from years of sun and rain. Inside, the space was narrow but neat. The smell of pressed fabric mixed with old wood and steam. Every surface told a story of care. Spools of thread lined the wall in faded colors. The sewing machine by the window hummed like a trusted friend. Naomi herself was small, with hands marked by time and effort. Thin scars crossed her fingers, earned through decades of work. Her back carried a slight curve, not from weakness, but from years of leaning over tables, fixing what others discarded. Her eyes held a quiet depth, the kind shaped by loss and long nights alone. When the billionaire finally nodded, it was not kindness that guided him. It was urgency. His meeting mattered more than pride. He followed Naomi into her shop, unaware that the smallest moments often carry the greatest weight. She worked without hesitation. Her fingers moved with calm purpose, needles slipping through fabric as if the suit had always belonged in her hands. The tear closed under her care, thread blending so perfectly it vanished. Naomi treated the suit like every garment she touched, with respect, as if it held a life of its own. When she finished, she stepped back. The billionaire reached for payment. Naomi shook her head once. Some things did not need money. Her voice was soft, but it did not waver. That refusal stayed with him long after he left. Naomi returned to her quiet routine, unaware that a storm of reflection had begun in a glass office far across the city. Her life had taught her patience early. She grew up in a small home where every sound carried. The smell of fried bread and ironing starch filled her childhood. Her mother worked long hours cleaning houses that never felt like hers. Naomi learned to sew sitting on the floor, watching hems fall perfectly under her mother's hands. Later came love, brief and gentle. Her husband's laugh once filled their tiny kitchen. Then came illness. The hospital air, sharp and cold, still lingered in her memory. After his passing, Naomi poured herself into her work. Her son became her light, his shoes often waiting by the door when she closed the shop at night. That light vanished one rainy evening. A careless moment stole her child. The world did not stop. It never does. Naomi learned how grief settles, heavy but quiet like dust on unused furniture. She carried it with her every day, stitched into her movements, folded into her silence. Her shop became her refuge. People came with torn clothes and heavy hearts. Naomi listened without prying. She fixed more than fabric. She never asked why someone could not pay. She understood enough already. So when the billionaire returned to his world of polished floors and measured words, Naomi returned to her stool by the window. Unaware that his thoughts kept circling back to her refusal in his office, the billionaire studied the suit again. No seam showed. No mark remained. The repair was flawless. It unsettled him. He had paid fortunes for less care. He had met powerful people who demanded respect loudly. Naomi had asked for none. He asked his assistant about her. Then his legal team. He learned about the shop, the quiet woman, the years she spent unseen. He felt something unfamiliar press against his chest. not guilt. Recognition. The next morning, Naomi unlocked her door as usual. The street smelled of coffee and exhaust. A few neighbors nodded as they passed. Then the black cars arrived. They lined the curb like a warning. Conversation stopped. Fear moved faster than reason. Naomi felt the shift in the air, but did not panic. She wiped her hands on her apron and stepped outside. The lawyers approached, faces serious but respectful. They spoke her name carefully. They said the billionaire wished to see her. People watched in silence. Some expected trouble. Others expected payment demands. Naomi simply closed her shop and followed. The billionaire greeted her standing, not seated behind a desk. He spoke slowly, choosing words with care. He told her about his past, about starting with nothing, about learning to measure people by what they could give him. He told her that her refusal had reminded him of a truth he had forgotten. Naomi listened without interrupting. Silence had taught her how to hear what words avoided. He offered her money. She declined. He offered to buy her shop. She declined again. Her refusal carried no pride, only certainty. He paused, then offered something different. Partnership, support, training for others like her. A way to build without taking her ground away. Naomi felt her chest tighten. Not with fear, with memory. Her grandmother's voice returned, soft and firm. Honor the life something has lived. She agreed on one condition. Her shop would remain a place where dignity came first. No one would be turned away for being poor. No one would be treated as small. The billionaire agreed without hesitation. Weeks passed. The shop changed, but gently. New machines stood beside the old one. Young apprentices arrived, some nervous, some hopeful. Naomi taught them patience before skill. She told them that every stitch carried a story. The street noticed. People slowed down. The laughter from before did not return. Respect replaced curiosity. The billionaire visited once, standing quietly near the door. He did not announce himself. Naomi nodded, acknowledging him without pause. Their understanding needed no words. One of the apprentices once asked Naomi why she stayed silent when people mocked her that day. Naomi answered without lifting her eyes from her work. Silence protects what noise cannot. Another day, she said strength does not raise its voice. It stands its ground. Those words traveled further than she ever did. When the shop officially reopened, the street filled with people. Not applause, just presence. Heads bowed slightly. Eyes softened. Even those who once laughed felt the weight of what they had missed. The billionaire stood among them. Unnoticed, watching a woman the world almost ignored changed lives without asking for credit. Later, he told a reporter that wealth could open doors. But character decided who deserved to walk through them. He never mentioned Naomi by name. She preferred it that way. Naomi continued her work. Each morning, sunlight touched the old sewing machine, still in its place by the window. The hum remained steady. The shop smelled of fabric and hope. She never became famous. She never sought praise. But in quiet rooms across the city, people spoke of the tailor who fixed the suit for free and reminded, a powerful man of his humanity in a world that often rewards noise. Naomi proved that quiet dignity could shift entire systems. That unseen hands often hold the strongest influence. That respect, once earned through honor, could not be bought. And as the street returned to its usual rhythm, one truth remained stitched into every heart that witnessed it. Some heroes never raised their voice. They simply refused to lose themselves. If this story touched you, share where you are watching from and what silent strength means to you. Subscribe for more stories that honor dignity, kindness, and the heroes the world almost overlooks.